Yeah, you read the title right. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I mean by that. You get into a conversation with somebody. You start off this conversation and you can clearly see they're looking down on their phone, texting away, right? And the first thing you say to them to gain their attention is, "Hey!" And then they look up from their phone and they start talking to you. But they start talking to you out of obligation because you've initiated that contact. You've started that conversation, right? And so now that they have acknowledged your existence by looking at you and saying something else, you feel the pressure. You feel immense and intense pressure to keep this conversation going. So what you do now is you think at the top of your mind anxiously about different topics to bring into this conversation. You jump from one topic to the other. You keep jumping, switching back and forth, right? Hoping that you'll form a connection with this person, hoping that you'll gain their interest. You just pray, you pray and you pray and you pray, and you really want to form a connection with this person. So you keep doing that, you keep bringing up this conversation, and then you come to a disappointing realization that, oh, I was the one who always had to start that conversation. I was the one who always had to initiate the contact. I was the initiator. I always had to start the conversation off. Otherwise, that person wouldn't have been interested. They wouldn't have shown no interest at all to speak to me. They wouldn't have even spoken to me. So I was the one who always had to start that conversation off. Damn! Fuck! Damn, man! Fuck, man. You feel very disillusioned by the end of it when you come to that realization. So today, boys and girls, I'm going to be telling you how to get yourself out of that dilemma, and also how to form meaningful, long-lasting connections in your life. So, without no further ado, let's delve right in. It's only natural to want to start a conversation with somebody because naturally, we're sociable creatures. Instinctively, you're going to want to talk to people. By natural instinct, you're going to want to socialize with people because that's what we're put on this earth to do, is to multiply, to spread our seed, to make friends. So you see somebody who you would like to speak to. So for example, let's say I went to the train station and to kill time, I wanted to speak to somebody whilst I'm waiting for my train. I go up and speak to this person. I initiate the contact. But then I realize like 2 minutes later that, oh, they're not really interested. They don't really care about talking to me. They're not really interested in having this conversation with me. So sometimes you would naturally feel the pressure to keep it going, to keep the conversation flowing. But in that situation, you're milking the dead cow. You're milking a dead cow. And what I mean by that phrase is if a person is not showing interest, if they're not engaged, if they're not immersed in this conversation, if they're just looking down on their phone and they're not really looking up to talk to you, they're not interested, they don't care. You keep initiating contact by saying, "Hey, how are you? Oh, my daughter went to a birthday party last week and it was so fun, it was so amazing. I wonder what it was like for you and your children when you went to birthday parties." Still, they don't care, they're not showing interest. So in that situation, you're milking the dead cow because it's like that person is kind of dead. When I say dead, the interest is dead. That interest isn't alive, it's dead. You're milking the dead cow by talking to a person who isn't interested in you, in talking to a person who isn't interested in having this conversation with you. So how do you get yourself out of this dilemma, you might ask? Well, what I would do in that situation is, I would initiate the contact with that person. I would talk to them, have a little pause for 10 to 30 seconds. I would have a little break. And this is the awkward silence. This is the silence of truth. The silence of truth. The truth will be revealed. Shh. I call this the silence of truth because if they're interested in the conversation, then after those 10 to 30 seconds, they would add in to the conversation. They would bring up another topic to talk about, or they would continue from where I left off. So if a person is genuinely interested, then they would add into the conversation after I've had that 10 to 30 second pause. But if they just let the conversation die down, they're not interested. They're not interested in your existence. They're just genuinely not interested in having this conversation with you. You're going to feel the need to keep starting it, to keep starting and keep it flowing. But after that, just don't. Just don't. Just don't. If they've let the conversation die down after 10 to 30 seconds, then just leave it at that. Right, so let's see. I'm texting my friend on WhatsApp, whatever social media app, whether that be Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp, whatever. I'm texting my friend and they're vibing. They're genuinely showing interest. They're vibing, the conversation's going back and forth, we're having fun, and it's all good. It's so fun. And that's what we want. We want someone to show genuine interest. Yes, that's what we're hoping for, man. That's what we want. That person is texting us back and forth, and we're the initiator in that situation. but this person is showing interest, so it's fine. We can keep the conversation flowing. We don't feel the pressure. We don't feel the pressure to keep it flowing, because that person will add into the conversation as well, okay? But then a couple of days later, I feel like, oh, I don't really want to keep initiating the contact with this person. So let me see if they start the conversation first. Let me see if they text me first. And then it turns out that they do. After a couple of days, they'll text you first. That's how you know when you have genuine friends. That's how you know when someone is genuinely interested in you, is when you're not always the one who is starting the conversation. You're not always the one who is initiating the contact, because then you're allowing the other person to do that. And that means that they genuinely care. So that's how you determine whether someone's genuinely interested in having a conversation with you. All types of relationships in life act off reciprocity. So it's like a two-way street, right? So you give to this person and they give back to you, right? It's reciprocal. So having long-lasting, meaningful connections in your life is going to be something that is going to make you so happy. It's going to invigorate you. And it's going to be one of the reasons why you live, because you have these connections in your life. You have people who care about you and who love you. So to start long-lasting, meaningful connections with somebody, you'll have to find mutual grounds with that person. You'll have to find something that you're both interested in. And always make sure to keep contact with that person. It doesn't matter how long away you are from them, because I've got a friend who's in a different country and we're so close. We're closer than ever. It's just very important to keep contact with that person. Always show up for that person. Show a genuine interest. Care for that person. And always make sure to keep the contact going. Never let the contact die out. And that's how you're going to get close to somebody. Thank you guys so much for watching. And without further ado, I'm going to conclude with this. When you fall down, pick yourself back up again like the warrior that you are. And you keep fighting the fight. You keep fighting the fight, guys. And I shall see you in the next video. Peace out.